moving on up. That's right. We're truly, truly moving on up. And then we played Reverend Dr. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. What's in your hand? What's in your hand? What's in your hand? We all have got something in our hand. Some of us have discovered it. Many of us have not discovered what's in our hand. What's in your hand is what kind of talents, abilities, gifts, and skills do you have? I call it your tags. And everybody has something in their hand. Now, maybe they haven't discovered it, maybe they haven't cultivated it, but it's there. You were born with it. Even if you got some kind of physical, mental issues or whatever, you still have something in your hand, no matter what the circumstances are. I'm going to play a little bit of my friend. Oh, Napoleon Hill birthday is coming up next week. So we celebrating Napoleon Hill. His whole family's going to be down there with Don Green. So we're going to be celebrating a little bit of Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich on Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of Your Right to Be Rich by Napoleon Hill, performed by the author.
Your Right to Be Rich by Napoleon Hill, a program that we are sure will help you achieve your every goal and dream. Every goal? Every dream? Yes. For this remarkable philosophy, elements of which will certainly be familiar to those acquainted with Dr. Hill's landmark book, Think and Grow Rich, does not restrict the concept of riches to such narrow parameters as fortune and fame. You have the right to be rich in every way. You deserve to be rich in every way, personal and spiritual as well as financial. That is a most important point, for as Dr. Hill discovered, those men and women who attained only financial rewards from life, however great those rewards may have been, were the least happy and satisfied people in the world. To be truly rich, you must be rich in all aspects of life. You will hear Dr. Hill refer to this philosophy as a science of personal achievement, a science of success. However, you may be wondering, can success truly be a science? Can the steps on the road to riches be synthesized, quantified, made to work without fail like a trusted experiment in a laboratory? Yes. In one of the lectures, you will hear science defined as the art of organizing and classifying facts. What you are about to hear are factual, proven principles, carefully organized and explained, that will, if you follow them carefully, will, without fail, lead you to the riches you so earnestly desire. A word now about the context of these outstanding lectures, which have never before been available to the general public. Never before has Dr. Hill been recorded personally presenting his outstanding philosophy in such a remarkable, effective, dramatic manner. Overall, the original tapes are of amazingly high quality. However, you will occasionally hear minor electronic interference and comments from the enthusiastic students that may be difficult to perceive clearly. Where it was appropriate to do so, rather than diminish the impact of the lectures by editing this material out, we have left it in place. What did these Chicago audiences hear? What are you about to hear? Napoleon Hill's 17 Principles of Success, developed through decades of study and research. Before introducing these principles to you, let us emphasize a couple of points that Dr. Hill emphasized most strongly to his students. As you listen to these lectures, keep a notebook handy and take generous notes. Don't wait until you hear the lectures begin. Start now. Get a notebook or notepad and start taking notes right now. By writing the information down, just as if you were a student sitting in Dr. Hill's class, watching and listening to him talk, you will help to imprint his philosophy more strongly on your conscious and subconscious mind and put it to work for you more immediately and effectively. While listening at home, you may wish to use a binder with loose-leaf paper and tab dividers. For note-taking in your car, use a handheld microcassette recorder to record your own ideas on your own tapes. Of course, while you're driving and listening, always be sure to do so safely. Never focus on the audio tape so completely that you lose your focus on the traffic around you. As you progress through the course, expand your notes, add to them constantly with your own original thoughts, and with relevant thoughts you glean from newspapers, magazines, radio, and television broadcasts. And don't listen to these just once. Listen to them over and over and over again, emphasizing through the power of repetition their messages of thought and action. The more you work with this course, the more it will work for you. Let us now turn to outline the 17 principles of success. 1. Definiteness of purpose. The starting point of all achievement. You will learn to set your major objective and make specific plans for obtaining it. 2. The mastermind. The process by which you can procure the full benefits of the experience, training, education, and specialized knowledge and influence of others.
Yes, 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 indeed, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rick Young. This is another segment of What's in Your Hand here at Whcr. And I told you we're going to be focusing on the big idea today, because a part of what's in your hand is ideas. So I want you to listen to this piece right here as we move forward with What's in Your Hand. And don't forget, this Sunday, we're going to party hard. We're going to party hard. This is going to be a motivational radio party. Can you imagine a motivational radio party? Pure motivation, pure success, 5.5 hours. We get, oh my God, it's a blessing. Woo, I'm excited. I'm truly excited. Let's check this out.
Hi, I'm Brian Matamore from the Growth Engine Company. We're an innovation agency based in Norwalk, Connecticut. And today I want to talk to you about the Big Idea Workshop. This is a workshop, it's a 2-day workshop we created to help aspiring entrepreneurs get that breakthrough idea that they might be looking for. This is based on the work we've done with both large and small companies. And in this workshop, we're going to be covering really 5 areas. The first is creative mindsets. These are the mindsets that entrepreneurs need to help them come up with this big idea. The most important of these is finding and transferring principles. Next, we'll be talking about ideation techniques or brainstorming techniques. These are techniques that we validated in over 1,000 ideation sessions, so we know they work. These are both individual and group techniques to help people get that big idea. Next, we'll be talking about creative stimuli, the importance of creative stimuli in helping get that breakthrough idea. This popular media we have such wonderful popular media available to us online these days, so online newspapers and Twitter and Pinterest, patent prompts, technology triggers. These will all be part of the process to help come up with that next new thing. And it's important to know that all of these techniques and approaches, thinking strategies can be used to create a new business in whatever area that the entrepreneur has a passion for and interest in. So it could be a high-tech new idea they're looking for, or retail, or healthcare, or social media. Maybe you want to invent a new app, or an educational product, or home products. It doesn't matter. These techniques and processes can be used in really any industry or area of interest. And finally, in the 2-day workshop, we're going to talk about this 21-day big idea plan. This is the plan that I want the entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs in this workshop to take with them and to use for the next 21 days after the workshop to make sure they're going to get that big idea. So I look forward to seeing you and working with you in the days to come.
Yes, yes, indeed. Wow. Very good, very good. My next guest is on the line, and he is the co-founder and chief idea guy, Growth Engineer Innovation Agency, and he's the leader of over 200 successful innovation projects. I want to welcome for the first time to WHCR, to What's in Your Hand, Brian Matamore. Good morning, Brian. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Rick, I'm doing great.
Wow.
Geez, I love that intro. I was like, who is that guy?
Yeah, who is that guy? Who is that guy? Sounds pretty
It
good.
sounded better than I thought it would. I guess I had recorded. I was trying to think where that came from, and I guess you got that online. I think I was doing a thing for Moscow University or something. I don't know. So I was like, oh, this sounds pretty good.
There you go. Now, Brian, let me just tell you, I like the big idea because here's the thing: you got people walking around with so many big ideas, and they don't know the first step to get those big ideas from out of their head into the marketplace, into the world. And I mean, how do you do that? How do you get an idea, a thought, an idea, and you bring that to the marketplace? What's the first step, Brian?
Well, actually, the first step is to make sure you actually have a big idea, because most people have an idea or two, and they may think it's a big idea, but it may not be a big idea. We actually we're asked by Columbia University, one of the entrepreneurial professors there, Bob Dorff, who's a friend. He said, a lot of my students think they have a big idea, but they really don't. And so can you create a workshop that's going to help them create, quote, a really big idea? His example was, he said he always gets students who come in with a cuisine app, and he said, if I hear another cuisine app, I'm gonna shoot myself, because nobody's making any money on these. There are 850 out there, and so to answer your question, Rick, the most important step is to make sure you have a big idea to start. So we can talk about how you get that big idea, and then we can talk about how you bring it to market successfly.
Now, to have a big idea, do you have to be crazy to have a big idea?
I love that. Well, it doesn't hurt. No, I mean, there's a misperception that, getting a big idea, you have to be nuts or crazy. Creative people, they're bipolar and all the rest. There is some research to validate that some of the more creative people have some of these depression challenges, etc. Sidney Sheldon, for instance. But no, you don't have to be crazy. I guess in some sense you have to be crazy in the sense if you're gonna make a success out of it, you have to be crazy with your passion for it. Let's put it that way.
Well, let me show you what I mean by crazy. Albert Einstein.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits,
Bob Dylan,
the rebels, the troublemakers,
Dr. King,
the round pegs in the square holes,
Richard Branson,
the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo.
Thomas
You
Edison,
can quote them, disagree with them,
Muhammad Ali,
glorify or vilify them.
John Lennon,
About
Ted
the
Turner,
only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things.
Gandhi,
They push the human race forward.
Mildred Earhart,
While some may see them as the crazy
Alfred
ones,
Hitchcock,
we see genius.
Jim Henson,
Because the people who are crazy enough to
Picasso.
think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Brian, I think you might be a little crazy too, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would replace the word crazy with passion. I mean, obviously, every single one of those great people, and that was obviously a great campaign for Apple, are passionately obsessed and crazy, if you will, with fulfilling their life's purpose and their mission. And so, part of this approach I've taken with this new book is really about using these techniques to find your passion, and then really creating something new that can benefit the world.
Well, I'm passionate about this Sunday, this party that we're going to be having on Sunday. I'm really passionate about it. I get to bring all of these positive people together for 5.5 hours, nonstop, talking about passion, talking about idea creations and networking and coming together. Oh, man, I'm excited, Brian.
And you invited me to that.
Yeah,
and
I did.
And I'm coming. My wife chickened out, but I'm coming.
Well, she's going to miss out on some amazing energy and some decent food, too. We're going to have some pretty good food.
Great.
All right. So you're gonna meet some cool people, and we're going to get a chance to share some ideas, and you never know who you might meet.
Well, yeah, I mean, a big part of quote my program is sharing those ideas. When I wrote this book that's coming out. It's 21 Days to a Big Idea, and it's coming out in November 17th. But when I originally designed this program, my idea was that it should be just for the individual, and they would go off on their own and create these ideas. And then I thought about it. I said, "What am I, nuts? What am I, crazy?" You can do this with other people, and so that's. I talk about the Big Idea Club, the idea of getting together with others, and it could even be family members, to use these techniques to come up with big ideas. And so that's what you're doing this Sunday. You're getting some great people together. I heard your Napoleon Hill intro, the mastermind, whatever you want to call it. And in the work we do with corporate America, I mean, we get together sometimes, 20, 30, 40 people to come up with ideas. And so a big part of that, as you well know, because you're doing it this Sunday, is to spark each other, Creativity is about you combine this thing with that thing to get a new thing. Well, sometimes you got part of it, and sometimes somebody else has the other part of it. So that's what's so great about these get-togethers.
Hey, Brian, do you know the name of my radio show?
It's like In Your Hand, right, or something like that, right? Did I blow it? Tell me what the name is.
What's in Your Hand?
What's in Your Hand? Okay. So tell me about that.
Well, What's in Your Hand basically is it was a speech by Reverend Dr. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Actually, it comes out of the Bible. It's a biblical term, what's in your hand. And he does this whole speech, this whole seminar, or this whole lecture on this what's in your hand. And it's really, really powerful. And he talks about people that have things in their hand that seems like almost nothing, like a stick and a pencil. I mean, a pen and a string and a rock. David had a rock. And he talks about people using what's in their hand. And some of us have things in our hand, and some of us don't discover what it is. I call it your talents, your abilities, your gifts, and your skills, which I call your tags. And to discover what that is and to bring it to the world, similar to what you're talking about.
Well, I love that, and that makes me actually think of the Acres of Diamonds speech, which I'm
sure
you know
That's
about.
Right.
It's the diamonds are in the backyard. The inspiration is in your hand and in your head, and yeah, I mean that's certainly a big part of this program I've developed for people. It's the idea that the ideas are there, and if you have some techniques maybe to help you grab them out of the air, create them, grab them out of the air, then you can do that. And so it's these big ideas are as close as your next thought. Let's put it that way. Maybe we should call your program Your Next Thought. No, In Your Hand is better.
How about the What's in Your Hand Idea Club?
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, it's a bit wordy, but
WITYH Idea Club or something. I don't know. Anyway,
it's a bit wordy, but the message is clear. What's in your hand? I like the Idea Club. I really like that. So
yeah, I as I said, I was writing the book, and it wasn't until I was almost done with it that I had this idea. And there were two things that triggered it. One, I am part of a writers group, and which is it's usually with women. I don't know why, but anyway, it's all women in this club and myself, and so we get together, once every 6 weeks and critique and help each other with the writing. So that was one thought. The other thought that said this big idea club. We were out to dinner with the kids, the family, and all, and these are 20-year-olds, and they never talk, right? They never say anything. And my daughter had an idea for an app, and we brainstormed that together over dinner. And it was one of the most fun, most enjoyable dinners we've ever had, because I got to see parts of my kids, and there's some of the creative abilities that I never knew they had. And here, I'm a creativity guy. I grew up with these kids, and I didn't even know how talented they were creatively. And
hold on, whoa. Brian, can you run that by me again? You said y'all went out to dinner.
Yeah. We went out to dinner with a family. We were celebrating, God, whose birthday was it? Anyway, somebody's birthday in the family. And it was my wife and our three kids, and, they're 18, 20, and 25. And, you're at dinner, and nobody's saying much. And my daughter had an idea for an app, which I won't share. But we all started to brainstorm how it would work, what could we call this thing, who would be interested, how would she fund it, and it was unbelievably enjoyable experience. It was so much fun, and again, the key thing for me was I saw parts of my children, their creative abilities that I didn't even know they had. And so I'm thinking, how could I have missed this? I mean, I knew they were creative, but to see them sort of perform in this table brainstorm was so extraordinary that I said, oh my gosh, I got to make sure I put this in the book so that people know that they can brainstorm not only with friends but with their family.
Wow, that's awesome. That is pretty awesome, man. And you know, the sad part about it, and I say sad, it could be exciting because so many people have great ideas, and like I said at the beginning, they don't know what to do with these ideas.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about that.
Hey, but you know what, Brian? Can you hold on? I need to take a quick break.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back, and we're going to get into that part of it, okay?
Absolutely.
Let's take a quick break.
Yep.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., the 125th Street Farmers Market offers to the public farm fresh, locally grown fruits, vegetables, eggs, baked goods, apple cider, vegetarian food, wine, and delicious cold-pressed fruit juices. Vendors include Alex's Tomato Farm, Trinity Farm, Red Jacket Orchard, Bread Alone, Nevin's Farm, New Yoga Pitha Vegan Food, Three Measures Vegetarian, and Pro Tea Bakery. Also, yoga on the plaza with Bikram Yoga East Harlem. That's 125th Street Farmers Market, every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. 125th Street Farmers Market is located on the plaza of the Adam Clayton Powell Jr. State Office Building at 125th Street and Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard.
Welcome to WHCR's Community Calendar, keeping you abreast of events in Harlem and throughout the tri-state area. The following events will take place from Friday, October 16th through Friday, October 23rd, 2015. On Saturday, October 17th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Harlem Haberdashery is the 3rd annual Hallow Greener, where you can join the group to make Lenox Avenue look cleaner in the morning and spookier in the afternoon to make NYC's #1 Halloween neighborhood look green and mean. This event is family friendly, and for more information, visit facebook.com/TheLeagueDGM. On Monday, October 19th at 5:30 p.m. at the Maycombs Bridge Library is Maycombs Bridge Monday's Reel-to-Reel series featuring Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors 3, The Rules of Racism, is the 3rd installment of the critically acclaimed documentary series about the real, untold story of people of color around the globe. This event is free, and for more information, call 212-281-4900. On Tuesday, October 20th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the Studio Museum, Harlem, is the Arts and Minds Series B, which brings adults with memory disorders and their caregivers together in new experiences of art. Through gallery discussions and hands-on art activities, Arts and Minds opens the window to creativity and well-being. This event is free with RSVP, and for more information, visit www.studiomuseum.org. On Thursday, October 22nd at 6:30 p.m. at the Museum of the City of New York is A Past to Build Upon, NYC's Housing Legacy. Join the museum for a conversation with Richard Ravitch, who helped rescue the city from financial ruin in the 1970s and developed over 40,000 units of affordable housing. For ticket information, visit mcny.org. If you have an event that you'd like to place on our calendar, please call 212-650-7481 or email communitycalendar@whcr.org. Submissions must be made 3 to 4 weeks prior to the event. This is Huma Saida for WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
Hey, this is Donna, and I want to personally invite you to my restaurant, Home Sweet Harlem. Home Sweet Harlem is a lovely American bistro located at 1528 Amsterdam Avenue between 135th and 136th Streets. You can join us for a good cup of coffee, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Our menu includes heart-healthy foods like a variety of fresh mixed salad greens, grilled garlic shrimp, smoothies, and fresh juices. The amazing St. Nicholas Park turkey burger and the grilled marinated chicken kebabs are among our most popular dishes. Our weekend brunches include a delicious farmer skillet, which is a baked omelet, and it's baked in a cast iron skillet and served with homemade biscuits. We also offer an affordable meeting space for community groups, art shows, and live music. That's Home Sweet Harlem, located at 1528 Amsterdam Avenue between 135th and 136th Streets. You can reach us at 212-926-9616.
To the wonderful and wise WHCR listeners, this is Brother Cornell West. I want you to join me and the 100 precious families who've lost loved ones. I want you to join faith leaders, voices of conscience, and thousands more for Rise Up October. This is the Stop Mass Incarceration March. We have 3 days of powerful resistance in New York City, culminating on October 24th. We're going to gather at Washington Square Park at 11 a.m. And we're going to keep in mind 7-year-old Ayanna Jones, 12-year-old Tamir Rice. We're going to remember Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland. Go to riseupoctober.org and please get involved or call 929-249-7996. That's 929-249-7996. Brothers and sisters of all colors, which side are you on?
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Mic check, mic check. Keep it locked on WHCR 90.3 FM. Okay. New York.
You're listening to WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
It's WHCR, the voice of Harlem.
And I am Rick Young. I am your host for What's in Your Hand here at WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. And my guest today is Brian McNamara, and he's the author of Idea Stormers, How to Lead and Inspire Creative Breakthroughs, and his new up-and-coming book coming out in November, 21 Days to a Big Idea. Brian, I'm really excited about this next book that you're doing because you mean you can come up with an idea in 21 days?
Well, as I mentioned before, the Bob Dorff, who's a professor at Columbia, said to me, help my students get some big ideas. And so I gave myself the task of coming up with a big idea every day for 21 days. Mm-hmm. And it turned out to be really hard. It's hard to come up with a big idea every day. But the reason I set that goal for myself was because I wanted to make sure my suggestions would work. So I was testing this on myself. And I did it, but it was hard, but I did it. And the point there was to get a big idea, it's a good idea to get a lot of ideas. And so, so with 21 ideas to choose from, then you can pick the one that turns out to be the absolute best idea, the one that you want to pursue, invest your time and money and resources to make happen. So that's one of the keys to this thing. To get a big idea, get a lot of ideas.
All right, wow. And, I think coming up with creative ideas can be fun. You can make it fun. Can you make it into a game? You can. I love that you would say that because I actually did make a game, believe it or not. The game is called Bright Ideas. It's a training game where I get people to combine words to create new inventions.
And then the game is I have cards that have patents on it from the U.S. Patent Office. And the game, when people play the game, is to sit around and say, which is the patented idea at the U.S. Patent Office, and which is the idea that somebody just created. And it turns out that by combining words, people can create an invention on the spot. So it's a great game. It's really fun. You say, and people vote for your idea when actually the patent idea they may not vote for. So that's a long answer, but yeah, you can absolutely make coming up with ideas a game.
You know, wow, this. I'm really having a lot of fun with this. This is really a lot of fun.
I am too.
I am having a lot of fun with this. You know, because I mean, like, you know, bus drivers. Bus drivers, I think they're sitting on. There's a lot in their hand they're not really taking advantage of. Here they are, right, sitting there in that seat, and they're driving. You got the passengers come in. There's no telling what type of passenger you might get on the bus, and then you got that big screen in front of you. It's like a movie.
Yeah.
And they've seen some of the crazy, amazing, and they're not really taking advantage of using what's in their hand. It's right there in front of them, this big screen. Can you speak to that, Brian?
Absolutely. You know, the one of the 5 techniques. Well, there are 5 mental strategies, and then there are nine quote techniques in the book. But one of them is obvious and the easiest is so what's the problem? You know, and so the idea is to get a little notebook or whatever, and record problems that you have throughout the day, or challenges, whatever, however you want to frame that, or things that frustrate you or whatever. So you keep a list of these, and you know, geez, my mouth is dry when I'm driving the bus, or you know, I'm seeing this person who's having trouble crossing the street because they're limping, or they didn't see the stop sign, or you know, when you set your mind to be aware of and to record these problems, you know, you could come up with 50 or 100 problems in a day, you know, and so the idea then is you keep this journal of all these problems, and then those can be the source for big ideas. You know, one of the examples I give in the book is, you know, you have trouble, you know, your nose gets clogged at night or something, and you have trouble sleeping. Well, the guy who invented the Breathe Right nose strips, you know, that's over $100 million business a year. Wow. So that's a very simple idea, right? I mean, it took a lot of work to make it work, but, you know, that's an example of just a very simple problem that was solved in a unique way.
Hey, Brian, you know one of the things I love doing?
What's
that's
that?
Fun for me? Finding people like you, finding guests like you, and sharing it with man, it's fun.
It is fun.
You know,
you know, you're right, Rick. When you said coming up with ideas is fun, you know, my view is that people, you know, in their homes, but also in corporate America, when the ideas are really coming, man, there's nothing more, at least for me, there's nothing more exciting and fun than to see new ideas happen. They bring with them energy, you know, and excitement, and in the best sense of the word, that people are self-actualizing. They're becoming more of themselves in the best possible way. So, you know, that's part of my mission and work, is to share these techniques and processes that can help people self-actualize in such wonderful, wonderful ways.
You know, Brian, when I first got this show, so I wanted to show this with this show. I started bringing on some strong guests in the beginning, letting them know I'm serious about this, and I was, you know, I wanted to come out the box swinging hard.
Yep.
So the station said, take it easy, slow down, slow your roll, you're gonna run out of guests. So when Wally said run out of guests, I told Wally, I said, when the ocean runs out of water, then I run out of guests. He says, okay. He says, all right, yeah, we'll see. Because, you know, people struggle to get guests. And here it is, 8 years later, over 700 shows, and I haven't run out of guests yet.
Well, congratulations.
And I got more
Fantastic.
guests now that I know what to do with. I got hundreds.
I bet you do.
I got thousands of guests.
And thank you for including me as one of them. I appreciate it.
Yes. So that was just a little fun thing. Now, I'm not bragging, but that's just, you know, when you find your gift or your calling, I like people. I truly like and care about people, like all people.
Well, you know, when we met 2 weekends ago or whenever it was,
Yeah.
you you got this wonderful aura about you, and openness and light, and you can see that, right? So I was so attracted to you and your energy at this conference we were at, and it was just really fun to meet you.
So imagine this, on Sunday, 2 days from now. Okay, let me just focus on this. What happens when you have a room full of brilliant minds? What can come out of that?
Well, I think it'd be an overstatement to say when we do our corporate ideation sessions, they're brilliant minds. No, I'm kidding. But no, these are talented people, and when we do those sessions, we might get 200 ideas in a day.
Wow.
And so, and of those, I would say probably maybe 10% are really good. So you get maybe 20 really good ideas. Of those, you might test maybe 12 to 15. Of those, you might get 7 or 8 that are really good. And then when you look at those 7 or 8, you might actually launch 1 or 2 of them. But those are the kind of numbers you're dealing with. But with your group this weekend, oh my gosh, I mean, you'll have all these sort of wonderful people, brilliant minds, and I'm sure there'll be ideas flowing and connections being made and insights happening. I mean, what's better than that, right?
Oh boy, you got me going. So there was a guy. You might have heard of this guy before. He built a building that was just focused on ideas. Now, I like that. Some people say, oh, he did this, he did that. But the fact that he built a building just for inventions and ideas, and that is Thomas Edison, I like that. I like that idea of building a building just for ideas and inventions. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, he invented the modern day research lab, and people would sometimes ask reporters. One reporter had asked him, what's the best idea you ever had? And not the light bulb, not the phonograph, not the battery. He said invention factory, because it allowed him to create all the other ideas.
How does Idea Factory sound?
I love it. Absolutely, yeah. The Idea Factory, love it. I mean, during World War II, my father was part of a group of brilliant minds. He's since gone, but he said that was the most wonderful time of his life. They were coming up with ad campaigns and promotions for the military. He was part of this special unit. And, they had Pulitzer Prize-winning authors, playwrights, and graph setter. He said it was the absolute best time because hanging out with these brilliant people, what was fun than that?
Well, that's the thing that Napoleon Hill talked about. He talked about the mastermind group. That's what the mastermind group was on.
Yes. It always amazes me. As you mentioned in the intro, I've done now like 1,500 idea generation sessions with corporate America. And, it'll be something like, invent a new key or a new Chips Ahoy cookie or save money for Bank of America or whatever it is, And I might be there the night before thinking about this session and not be able to come up with a single idea, and then maybe 1 or 2. But then we do this session, we got 20 people in the room, and all of a sudden, you've got 200 ideas. And that's the magic of this. And that's the magic of the work we do, that you get great people, you throw in some techniques, you have an objective, and all of a sudden magic happens. And that's really what we're talking about, this sort of magical moments when connections are being made and brilliant ideas happen. Well, it's so exciting, right? I mean, the energy in the room goes through the roof when that kind of thing happens.
Brian, I want you to listen to this piece here and just give me some feedback on this. Tell me what you think.
Absolutely.
And by the way, just this morning, since I've been in the studio, I did 110 push-ups. Not at one time, piece by piece. Piece by piece. Every time I get a break, I do a set. I'm up to 110 push-ups. Man, I might get 200 before I leave here. You know how strong I'm going to be?
Yeah. Well, just come up with an idea on each push-up, and you got it.
There you go. All right, listen to this. Tell me what you think.
All right.
Hi, I'm Brian Matamore. And I'm Gary Fraser, and we're the co-founders of the Growth Engine Company. And we'd like to invite you to our new course. It's called Growing Established Brands. The Growth Engine Company, we're a 15-year-old innovation agency. We're based in Norwalk, Connecticut. We've worked with over a third of the Fortune 500 companies, and we've managed over 200 successful innovation projects.
And we have done well over 1,000 ideation sessions and over 500 consumer interactions.
As an innovation agency, we help companies discover new ideas, develop those ideas, and launch them successfully in the marketplace.
Now, we understand how challenging it is to market established brands. There are constraints, the equity that you have, there are constraints from a manufacturing point, there are sales constraints, and this is a challenge. And so this course is about shaking you up and trying to get you to think new thoughts.
And you can really think of it in 3 sections. There's techniques on how to develop an innovative growth strategy, obviously a whole slew of techniques on how to invent new products and services, and finally other techniques and approaches to help you come up with innovative go-to-market ideas.
So we will share methodologies that we know work because of the work that we've done over 15 years at Growth Engine. We'll also share with you the techniques, particularly the ideation techniques, that are so effective. And finally, we'll tell you real-world stories that help drive the point home.
Wow. Awesome, Brian.
Well, usually I'm embarrassed when I hear myself, but that wasn't bad. That was pretty good.
That was excellent. Very good.
Well, let me give your listeners a technique because, I want to just make sure they get a little nugget that they can use today or actually for the rest of their life. One of the techniques we have in the book, this 21 Days to a Big Idea book, is to just take certain words and modify the world with those. So in other words, the word smart, all right? Just take the word smart and put it in front of anything. It doesn't matter. You will probably get an interesting idea. So a smart fork, a smart light, a smart beer.
Smart boxy.
And, and if you look, what is a smart fork? What is that? What could that be? Well, it could be a fork that gives you feedback about what you're eating, the calorie content. I don't know, that's probably crazy. But actually, I did research on this, and there is now a smart fork out there that helps people with Parkinson's disease not shake their hand as much. So it makes it easier for them to eat. That company was just bought by Google. So that's a little trick the listeners can use.
What is it called?
What's that?
It's called a smart fork.
Well, just the idea is to put the word smart in front of anything. A smart bus. What is that? A smart walking stick. A smart glass, et cetera, et cetera. Any you could put that in front of anything, any object, and I guarantee you will start having new ideas. And you could put the word smart, you could put the word growing or informational or digital, or even shareable. What's a shareable hotel? Well, a shareable hotel is Airbnb, right? What's a shareable taxi? Well, that's Uber, right? So these are just some tricks, if you will, some mental tricks you can use to get new ideas.
Well, one of the things I want to do, Brian, eventually at some point, I want to start doing my Boxing for Success workshops, teaching what I learned through boxing, through growing up in Harlem, and also what I learned on the radio from interviewing all these amazing people. And it's called Boxing for Success. As a matter of fact, I got a Boxing for Success T-shirt on right now, and I'm throwing a beautiful straight jab. I mean, the jab is nice and straight. The guy can't do anything. And then on the back of the shirt, I believe it says positive mental attitude. Yes.
Well, I love it. I think you got something there. I mean, I love the idea of sort of boxing for success. Obviously the principles in that, the sort of ability to take a punch, right? Which is in some ways what on life is, right? I mean, when you do an entrepreneurial venture, you are going to get punched. I mean, you hopefully don't get knocked out, but you are going to have challenges, and because the world is sort of built up with the status quo. It doesn't necessarily accept new ideas. So for your aspiring entrepreneurs out there, they got to know that there are going to be challenges, whether it could be money or getting the funding or figuring out getting the idea right, all those kind of things. There are a lot of lessons to be learned from boxing.
Yeah. I beg to differ about getting punched because you could put on a clinic where you barely get touched in a boxing match. It's called a boxing clinic where you really give your opponent a lesson, a boxing lesson.
Yeah,
And then,
well,
you know, I had a great teacher. I was blessed to have a great teacher, and I think I know how to do that.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you can bob and weave as an entrepreneur, God bless you.
There you go. There you go.
You know, absolutely.
Bob, weave, slip, dip, in, out, side to side, circle, up, down. And you just got to keep him off balance. Don't let your opponent get set so he can land that shot that he wants to land. You keep him moving.
Well, yeah, I mean, that idea of keeping it moving, also for the aspiring entrepreneurs out there, inventors, people that want to create something new, that is key. You got to keep moving. You got to keep. You asked me before the break. You said, "Well, tell me how you get these. How do you make an idea successful?" Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, a big part of that is going out and talking to the world and quote testing your idea, asking what people think, because. You know, it's pretty much a fallacy. People say, "Oh, I don't want to tell people; they're going to steal my idea." Forget that. Basically, forget that. If you have a patentable idea, get a patent. But for the most part, you can go out, you start talking to people. Hopefully, it's something you're passionate about. You got to get that input to help you make sure that the idea is a good one, and that if it's a product, that you're selling it at the right price. If it's a service, that it's priced appropriately. And on and on and on. All these things that you can learn by going out and talking to people, and not just your family. You know, this is people you meet at the store. This is people at the YMCA. People on the bus. You want to find out what people think of your idea, and you need to do it in a way where you're not defending your idea. You're out there to learn, to get input about the good points and points that need to be improved about your idea.
That's right. That's right. You know, with the Boxing for Success workshops, you know, what happened is I started with Boxing for Success, FOR. And then when I got on Twitter, the Boxing for Success didn't fit. So I was like, oh, wow, what am I going to do? So a friend of mine, or a lady that I met, you know, through this radio business, she suggested I use the number 4. And it fit. I like, whoa, bingo.
Yeah.
4, right? It fit. So now my Twitter handle is at Boxing the number 4 Success.
Yeah.
So I wind up changing my email to Boxing for Success, the number 4.
Yeah.
So, bingo. Napoleon Hill identifies 17 principles that a person can apply to achieve success. So what I decided to do, I decided to identify 4 that you could use that I want to share with people that I think that can help them be successful.
Nice.
There you have Boxing for Success.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's a good connection. It makes it easier to get on a T-shirt, right?
Yeah.
I remember we were doing a naming assignment for Pepsi, and we came up with all these Pepsi Premier and all these different names, you know, and they're like, yeah, it's not going to fit on the can. They said it'd be great if it could be 3 letters or less. I'm like, really? And so the name we came up with was Pepsi Max, and that's, you know, that was a big international hit, and then it was here for a while. But, you know, or it could have been Pepsi First, right? Pepsi 1 ST. That would have been another way to get just 3 letters. But you did 4 with just 1 character. So
right, that's
yeah,
right.
It's nice.
That's right. So we got a bunch of people listening from different parts of online, listening from different parts of the world, different parts of this country. And they want to know, you know, how do they pull those ideas out of their head and create usually people want to create some cash flow. They probably want to come up with $1 million idea.
Yep.
So how do you do that?
Well, again, the first thing is they got to get a big idea, and how do you, the key question is, how do you know if it's a big idea, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, besides going out and talking to people, and you know, when we do work with our clients, they'll spend $20,000 a day going out and doing focus groups and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, your listeners don't have to do that. They can sort of mock up their idea. Now, there are a couple ways to do that. One, they can make if it's a product, they can make very inexpensive prototypes. You know, even something out out of cardboard and duct tape kind of thing. Or they can go to the library. You know, the libraries have these 3D printing machines now, and they can make these things up. And you're making it up not to have a finished product now, but to have something you can show people to get input on and to get learning from. And in some ways, the rougher the better, because the more finished it is, we found people don't give you very good input. They say they don't want to criticize it because it looks so good. But if it's rough, it allows them to give you more, I think, honest input about it, and you can learn a lot more. Because at the beginning of when you're doing this venture, you want to make sure that you're learning as much as you can.
Brian, we're pretty much at the end now.
Yeah.
I told you it was going to go by fast, right?
You did. I'm like, we just got started. It's great.
So now listen to this. First of all, I want to start a big idea club. I got my Latino brother coming in. I'm going to tell him he got to start a big idea club, and we're going to get this thing moving, man. We're going to get some big idea clubs all over the place.
I love it. I'll send you the book, and it'll give you the how-tos, and I can talk you guys through this. It's really easy, you know. So, I love that. That's fantastic.
I'm going to see you Sunday. We're going to have a ball on Sunday.
Fantastic. Well, I'll get all the information from your producer, whatever, and this will be great. I'll see you on Sunday. How much fun will that be?
It's going to be fun. Brian, I want to thank you. Continued success to you, and I'll see you Sunday.
Okay, Rick.
All right.
Love it.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Looking forward to it. Okay.
And let me get your website again before you leave.
Yeah, it's www.growth-engine.com. So GROWTH with then a hyphen and then ENGINE.com. We're the Growth Engine Company.
And that's Brian Mattimore.
Mattimore. It's
Mattimore. Excuse me. Mattimore.
No. It's fine. It's MATTIMORE.
Got it. All right, Brian. Talk to you soon. Continue
Rick,
success
thanks a lot.
and blessings upon blessings.
Yeah, I'll back at you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Rick.
Okay, Rick Young signing off. Martine is here, right? Yes. I got to talk to you, man. Oh, yeah. I got to talk to you, Martine.
Talk to me, brother.
I got to talk to you. This Martine is here, my Latino brother. Listen, man, I just got off the phone with this guy, and he helps people come up with big ideas. Okay. He's got a book coming out, 21 Days to a Big Idea. So what you got to do, you got to get together with your crew, and y'all got to come up with ideas. I know y'all get together. I know y'all do fundraisers together. But y'all got to come up with some ideas together, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I promise you.
Yeah. Because I know you're creative. You got the creativity. It's in your blood, man.
You know that.
There you go. All right. Okay. Let me get out of Martine's way. And I think I'm going to finish with a little bit of Les Brown. A little bit of Les Brown. You got to be hungry. So this Sunday, I'm hoping to see you guys Sunday. We're going to party. We're going to have a party. We're going to raise some money. We got to keep this show on the air. I think this show is important. And I'm not saying it just because it's my show. If it was any show, I would say I like to listen to this show. I see you Sunday. Party time.
Because I know as I do this material here,
Les Brown.
Once you do it 3 times, it's yours, you know? So I want you to be close to me. I want you to look at someone on your right and left, shake their hands, and say, I'm doing better than good and better than most. Let's do that right quick, please. All right. I'd like to talk with you this evening about being hungry. Somebody said, I'm hungry. It is something I like to share some ideas and thoughts with you. I'm not asking that you believe anything that I say. I'm not asking that you agree with me. I'm merely asking that you stand on and in the conversation that we'll share with you this evening, and if there's something that I say that can fit and work for you, I say use it. If not, discard it and let it be. Is that all right? Yeah. Say, that's fair enough. Very good. All right. One of the things I have realized, and many of us have, that if you want something out of life, if you want to change yourself, if you want to acquire something, if there's some goal that you want to reach, that is really not easy as some people will make us feel. That living your dream, changing your behaviors, overcoming negative habits, it's challenging. It's hard. That living alone is just very difficult. And once we begin to come to grips with the fact that living is difficult, life is very challenging. I heard a song once by a guy named Dimples called, "If it ain't one thing, it's another." I say to you, if it ain't one thing, it's 12 others. Always something. You will never, ever have a problem-free moment in life. Somebody said, and I like this, that you either in a problem or just left one or headed toward one. Anybody found that to be so? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. I mean, there's always something. So how do we begin to nurture that hunger? What are the characteristics or the qualities of people that are hungry? What will it take for me to get some of the things that I want? And being hungry for those things. Number one, you've got to work on yourself. It's very important that you engage in an ongoing process to develop you. Spend more time on yourself than what you've been spending. It's very important. You owe that to yourself. I was reading a book by Og Mandino called The University of Success. Read one line, gave me a chill. I didn't have to read anything else in the book. He said, many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity. We spread ourselves too thin, don't know how to say no. And we find ourselves doing all kinds of things and never ever have time to do those things that we need to do to work on ourselves. And then there goes a second, there goes another second, there goes another second, and we can't stop and hold time. And before you know it, you wake up one day and you're behind in your dreams and your bills. So decide that you're going to take some time to work on you, that you deserve that from yourself, that your life deserves some prime time because you are creating your own production. As Michael Todd would say, you are the star of your show. You are the director. You're writing the script. And you will determine whether your life is a smash office hit or flop. You determine that. Working on yourself, talking to yourself. That's so very important. Overcoming the negative conversation, that inner dialogue that's going on all the time, even when you don't want it to be there. You can't stop yourself right now from thinking. You can't do it. It's going on. And so learning how to empower yourself, part of doing that is standing up to yourself. You've got to stand up inside yourself sometimes and say, shut up!
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Variedades Latinas es música, alegría, entretenimiento, farándula, deportes,